All right, welcome back, everybody, to Running It Back's coverage of the 2025 Tour de France, stage 16 today. This is my channel. This is my YouTube show. I am your host, Patrick Ramirez, stand-up comedian, lifelong cycling fan, really enjoying this Tour de France big time this year. So if you are too and you're listening or watching to my show, give it a subscribe if you don't mind. Get in on the action. I'm covering the race every single day, every single stage. So let's talk about stage 16. It was 171 kilometers up to the mighty Mount Ventoux. Before we get into headlines and the USA Report, winners and losers and all that stuff, I got to say I thought this was going to be a snoozer stage, and I should have been smarter than that by now. Because what stage has been a snoozer this whole year, besides maybe one? And this stage was flat all the way to the mountain. And look what we got. More breakaways, more action. We had the classic, will the breakaway make it? Will they not making it? A breakaway in a race like the Tour is like a romantic comedy. You just sort of sit there for the entire stage and go, will they or won't they? I don't know. Oh, yep, they're going to make, they might not make it. And ultimately, in the end, you find out, and sometimes you're a little bummed out, and sometimes you're actually satisfied by the results. So let's talk about stage 16. Let's start out like we do every day with headlines, everybody. So I got some headlines for the day. Headline number one, Mount Ventoux attacks breakaways, and Pogacar handles everything that Jonas throws at him. So we talked about Ventoux being way more exciting than I thought it was going to be. Not controlled. The breakaways were going on all over the place. Jonathan Milan gets in a breakaway, which I don't know what his strategy quite is there. So we had some breakaways, and then we had the actual climb itself where Pogacar was in total control and then throws in his own little dig at the end just for good measure to be like, hey, don't forget who's the king, bitch. I'm going to get another second here. But what a race just going into it. It's just so flat all the way in, set up all the pieces for the climb, and then we get into the climb, and then we see who of the breakaway, who stays in the selection, who thins out, who's there to help. And just like we saw today, like a surprise at the end with Van Wilder getting in on the action to help his teammates. Like, I forgot this guy was in the race. I didn't know what was going on with that guy. Did he come from behind? Was he in the front? And no idea. Good little twist there. Of course, Jonas tried a few attacks. I'm a little confused what the strategy is at this point when we just attack over and over and over again, and we get the same result. But I guess he's trying at some point. We maybe we should try something different. This is not going to work. Hey, here's the plan, guys. We're going to ride to the climb. Yeah. And I'm going to try to beat him on the climb. Right. Okay. Wasn't that what we tried to do the last 3 years? Yeah, but this time I'm going to have Sepp lead it out. Yeah, instead of Jorgensen. Got it. Is Pogacar bad at climbing? Is that why that's going to work? No, he's actually great at climbing. Oh, then wait, how's the strategy going to work then? I don't know, but I'm going to keep trying. That's an interesting point that I think is going to be worth talking about in these next few days. Is what's the plan when someone is just far superior at climbing in a stage race? Maybe there is no plan. Next headline, Mathieu van der Poel withdraws from the race. Gotta say, this one stings a little bit. Apparently he had pneumonia. I don't know if that's true. I didn't know you could race a bike at the highest level with pneumonia, but apparently you can. And maybe athletes in the Tour de France we always knew they were elite specimens, but maybe they're superheroes. The Tour's gone fast from kilometer zero on day one. Everybody's in breakaways. Everybody's racing hard to the top. And all of a sudden, people are apparently racing with pneumonia too. But where this really messes up the intrigue of the race is now the green jersey points start to slide on the side of Milan. Now, when we get into it, Malir's not totally out of this, and we got tomorrow to discuss as well. But Van der Poel was giving it a pretty sneaky good attack here with trying to claw up some points. He was getting in these breakaways. He was getting points, gobbling up points. Not that many pure flat sprint stages for the likes of someone like Jonathan Milan to gobble up the big 50 points on the line. So we were having this little internal battle going on, and now Van der Poel has pneumonia. Poor guy, poor green jersey, poor everything. So that's a big headline. I wonder if he would have got in the break today if he was a healthy Van der Poel. I can't help but imagine that he would be in the break. It would have started the break. And a last headline, our winner of the day, a French winner, Valentin Perret-Pentre. Yeah, we had to say his name all stage, and I still didn't get it right. So we got a first French winner of the Tour this year. And I think it's been a while since we had a French winner, too. He wins the bike race over Ben Healy today, which was probably everybody's favorite going into that climb. Like, we love Ben Healy now. Like, there was some pretty good ball washing going on Ben Healy up that climb, thinking he was just going to win. Enric Mas was up there thinking, like, the announcers were ready to give it to Mas first. Just whoever goes off the front, it's like, what a champion. He's going to win. It's a short 11 uphill kilometers, and Enric Mas has got it. Spain hasn't won anything since 2022. Oh, wait a second. It's been 10 minutes. We still got 9 kilometers to go. He's caught. And then Ben Healy's like, what a great stage. He's shown he's such a good climber. He has shown that he's ready for this tour. And then he loses. So, like, there was a lot of Ben Healy, count the chickens before the eggs hatched on that stage. So give it to this French rider who withstood a couple of hard Ben Healy attacks, attacked himself, and timed it just right, too. And just something I noticed on today's Ventoux, that last little right-hander corner that they go around into the finish, they were flying up that thing. I don't know if it was a tailwind day or not, but I remember days have passed, like in the Contador days, they would come around that corner really slow. Like they were really laboring to get up that switchback where the gradient is its steepest. I think Pogačar went through it in the big ring. Like he went through it like a corner. He leaned over the bike. I don't know what's going on with these athletes, but they are far and away better than athletes were 8 years ago. It makes me a little nervous to say that as a cycling fan, that we're going to find out where and what kind of performance enhancings they were taking. But that was blaringly obvious to me as someone who's watched the Tour for a million years. Is like, that corner used to be taken really slow, and they went through it like it was a crit. But that's the headline for today is Pentre won today, and like, let's just go through what I liked about a breakaway win. Is I said it's always great when a breakaway is up the road and that GC group or the yellow jersey itself is just chipping away at that lead. Like, oh, it's a 3-minute lead. Oh, it's 2:45 now, 5K to go. Is that enough? Oh, it's 2:15. And then the breakaway group starts playing around a little bit. And Ben Healy got a little mad. He was waving his hand and he was kind of yelling at the other riders to work with him. And as soon as Ben Healy did that, I instantly wanted him to lose. I don't know what it is when the riders get upset and start throwing fits. I always want that rider to lose for some reason. Give it to Pentre. He was like, no, I'm going to hold my water. I'm going to stay put. If they come back, they come back. If they don't, I'm going to be ready. It's a real game of when the break is ahead and the group behind them is clawing their way back, of like, whoever blinks first loses. Whoever loses their cool first loses. Stay with it. And then the gap is coming down because they were doing the thing where someone attacks, they crawl back to them, and then they just cruise along the road, and just 10 seconds are gone. And then they do it again. Attack up the road, claw back, cruise around. They were doing like they were snaking back and forth. So much that Santiago Buitrago comes back to the group and he's in there. So I'm getting nervous. It's like, oh, this breakaway is screwing themselves. They are giving away this stage. And they're doing it because Ben Healy's shaking his hands and getting mad, and the other riders aren't wanting to ride. And then they kind of ride. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this Soudal teammate, Van Wilder, comes back and he's like, I'm going to the front and I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to keep this group away from the GC. Now, The winning group, Pentry comes in like 40 seconds in front of Pogacar GC. If Van Wilder had not done that pull, it would have been really close. At 40 seconds, I'm inclined to think he still would have won by maybe 10. But it would have been close. And who knows what it would have been like if Pogacar could see the group in front of him. So that made for an awesome race. And I have no idea where Van Wilder even came from. No clue. Even Bradley Wiggins said it on the Move podcast. Like, he thought it was a spectator who got in the race and started riding with the group. Like, we had that happen once before. Really strange. So great drama. Put it in the context of a classic traditional mountain, iconic mountain stage, a classic French mountain too. And also Ventoux looks really scary at the top because they all collect there, and it's really windy. Wind on the top of a mountain just seems kind of brutal to me. So epic stage, and we thought it was going to be a controlled stage and a drag race up to the top, and no, it wasn't. We had a fun break. We had Alaphilippe going for it again. So what a stage. You just can't sleep on this tour. Tomorrow looks totally flat, sprinter's day. And I know something crazy is going to happen. You know, somebody's going to try something in the breakaway. It's going to be interesting. So I can't miss a single kilometer anymore. Those were the headlines for today. So next up, I'm going to talk USA report because we're following our USA riders. We haven't got the stage win yet. As far as disappointments go, yes, we have not gotten the stage win. No, Jorgensen was not the co-leader that we were hoping for. Sepp, not the co-leader, not the mountains help that we were hoping for, although he was better today. Palace, Barta, and Simmons to the breakaways have not been a breakaway threat in anything. Just Simmons has been the breakaway threat to it. So talking today, Sepp looks like he was the most helpful of him and Jorgensen today. He was pacing really well at the bottom of the climb. Jorgensen had another off day. It's caught up to him, whatever it is, the pace of the race, the fitness, the pressure. Had an off day today. Quinn Simmons took, he survived. He took a little heat this last 24 hours for that little press conference or that little interview where he was upset. So he survived today incident-free. Will Barta and Nielsen Palace finished way back today, 20 minutes down. But that doesn't matter. They're still in the race, still with a chance to get in some moves and try their best. So not a big day for the U.S., not a threat. But there was some help. And look, all five are still in the race. This has been one of the hardest races in recent memory of the tour, just thinking average pace, average speed, and everybody's in the race. So that's good. And we've got some chances for more breakaways. That's essentially what we're hoping for here. And given Visma's tactic of putting those riders in the satellite breakaways, it's not out of the question now that Jorgensen, finishing so far back, could get in something and compete for a stage win. So if you're a USA fan, breakaways are still hopeful, very hopeful to it. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. And let's have all five finish too. That would be really good too. So let's move on to the next segment of the tour today. It's called Winners and Losers. Start with winners of the day. How about the French? The French in general won today. And I'm even putting Alaphilippe in there too because, I mean, he didn't win today, but it was in the break. And he had a funny little beginning of the climb where he was dropped off the back of Arensman's wheel. And then he comes back and he drops Arensman. I don't know how he did that. There was some video of Alaphilippe too, just on his own. He was probably about fourth or fifth on the road at the time. And he's just grinding his pedals like he's riding a mountain bike going left to right, just giving his all. I also like how Alaphilippe doesn't wear a skin suit like these young guys do for pure speed. He's like, just give me the jersey. I'll wear that. I don't care. So Alaphilippe in there too. Just a great French character is another winner of the day too. Another winner of the day. How about this? Conservative riding. We had Pientre riding conservative in Ben Healy's wheel. I'm not pulling until it's needed. I'm only attacking when it's going to make sense. I'm waiting for my moment. Also read this. I rewinded a couple times to make sure. Pintre is 114 pounds. He is a little twink out there. His jersey looks like he's wearing a kid's shirt. He wins the award for skinny arms of the day. There's nothing on this man. He looks like he's gonna break when he stands up and pedals. He's got the skinny man big feet syndrome too. His feet are really big for his body. Man, is he tiny. Also with conservative riding, Pogačar riding conservatively, just responding to the attacks, riding in the wheels, pacing off of his teammates. And then when there was an opportunity to attack, what did he attack? Once? That's all he needed. Got the 1 second gap, and the stage is over. He's in safely. Conservative riding won today. Also, winner, we've got, how about overhead shots today? Great coverage of the stage today. Ventoux is being covered from not only like there's the above helicopter shot, which is always good, but there was this shot that was just showing the road ahead and how it snaked through the mountain. Just beautiful shots today. We had a clear sky. We saw the bottom is foresty, then the top is really bare. Overhead shots were excellent today. And I say the coverage, I beat up the coverage a bunch of times during this tour, but today was really good. My main beef with breakaways is when you're showing the breakaway and the race is going down with attacks from the breakaway, we still have to know what's going on in the group behind. We have to know who's pacing. We have to know who's on what wheel. And they did a good job of that today. I don't know why they don't make use of the split screen, but I felt like the Pogačar group was covered well, and the breakaway group with Ben Healy and Pietro was covered well too. Along the lines of overhead shots and coverage, I talked about a few weeks ago that there's an award for best teammate in this race. And so if I'm going to pick a best teammate for today, how about best teammate Marc Soler from UAE? Did you see this? Marc Soler is in the breakaway. The GC group is starting to catch all the breakaway riders. And Soler sees Pogačar coming. Of course, he's slowed down, catches breath, takes the bottle, dumps whatever water he can on Pogačar to cool him down, goes to the front, gives it all he's got, and then goes to the back, tries to hang on as long as he can. And he had this great moment on camera where the moment the lights went out in his legs and he knew it, he gave the camera a head shake and he was off. That was it. So best teammate, how about Marc Soler, man? Great day for him. He's like, hey, here I am. Here's some water. What can I do? Here's 30 seconds of pacing. Out. Shaking the head. So I haven't looked at the race's website yet today, but if Marc Soler's not the best teammate, well, maybe Van Wilder might get best teammate too. Those are two really good candidates. Those are winners of the day today. So moving on, let's keep going because we got losers of the day today too, and today was a fun one as well. So let's take a look here. Losers of the day. How about Jonathan Milan trying to get into brakes? What the heck is this? What is going on with you trying to get into brakes? It hasn't been successful once. Nothing has worked. So I don't understand that tactic. I wish we could just get the one interview where someone just asks him, like, why are you trying to get into brakes? What's going on there? What is your plan here? So that is an interesting one that I don't fully understand. Don't know what's going on there. So loser of the day. I got another one. How about Visma's same old tactics? What's the plan in the bus? I was joking about it earlier, of course, but the plan can't just be like, we're going to get him on the climb and try and beat him on the climb. It can't be. Is it really that simple? Like, guys, we're going to try and isolate him. Yeah. And then we're trying to beat him. It reminds me, to use a football analogy, it's like the football team that hasn't been able to run the ball all game long. And then they get the ball on first down in the third quarter, and it's a run up the middle. And now it's 2nd and 8, and then they run the ball off the tack on the left side. And now it's 3rd and 8, and they run the ball up the middle. At some point, you're like, we need a different play. What is this? Oh, it's first down. We gained a yard. Oh, second down. We lost a yard. Oh, it's third down. We gained a yard. Fourth down. I don't know what happened. Is this the plan to just try and also, like, Jonas, like, you're attacking from the front? Why are you attacking with Pogačar on your wheel? I don't know what other, maybe there is no tactic for someone as strong as that. Maybe not. It's too hard. Maybe it's time to risk that second place. It was said in an interview that Jonas like, oh, maybe I'll risk, I have to risk second for a stage win. Well, to me, that sounds like breakaway time. Get in the breakaway, get in something early, because you are not going to beat him on a climb. You can't take Pogačar and put him on anything uphill and try and beat him. That's just not going to work. So that is very curious to me. And it at some point too, it's getting borderline predictable. It's like, I'm gonna beat him on the climb. Well, no, you're not gonna beat him on the climb. So what's the actual plan here? And I don't know how it goes any other way. So that is definitely a loser of the day, I have to say. So I wonder if anything's going to change with Visma. Think about that. Is anything actually going to change? I guess we're going to find out in the next couple stages. There's a few mountain stages still to go. So moving on. Next loser of the day. How about this? How about unnecessary crashes today? There was 2 very unnecessary crashes. So, I don't know if you saw this on the climb. Arensman is riding up the hill, and he's got the tired head droopy thing going. And there's a neutral bike stopped on the left side of the road, and Arensman almost crashes into it. Going, 8 miles an hour, has to do the swerve thing to avoid a crash. I don't know why the neutral service bike is stopped. I would think it should always be moving, but it was stopped there. Our husband had plenty of time to see it and swerve away, but he almost hit it. And now I'm reading that Jonas Vingegaard apparently crashed after the finish line into a photographer. Haven't seen any video of this, but he said he crashed in an interview. So I'm actually surprised it didn't happen more often. There's a lot of people out on the road after that finish line. And as you finish, it didn't seem like there was a lot of space after the finish line on the top of N2. So they're all around there. And here come some more riders. Here come more Soigneurs handing out the bottles and putting the little jacket on. It should probably happen every single stage as someone bumps into somebody. But I haven't seen video yet. And that sounds very interesting. I'd like to see that crash because I can totally see it happen. You come through the finish line on a hard climb. You're tired. And, hey, you bump into this photographer and you're on the ground instantly. By the way, if Pietro weighs 114 pounds, what do you think Jonas weighs? 120? 125? He probably went down hard too. Unnecessary crash, definitely a loser of the day. All right, loser of the day. This happened a couple days ago, but I need to share it. I'm going to bring up the tweet. Okay, hopefully you can see this. This was a Instagram post from Tadej Pogačar after his crash that says, "Thank you for all the support. That's racing. I can be happy. I finished the stage in front. Group, full respect. All day full gas. Congrats, guys. And breakaway, very strong. Lesson learned today. For the rest of the tour, don't stop for pee anymore." Okay, and now we get a response from professional cyclists on the women's side of it. Almost kind of the Pogačar, the women's side. Looks like you had all the shit I have experienced. Only for me, it cost me a Vuelta GC and a tour. So Demi Vollering is talking about losing the Vuelta a couple years ago where she took a pee break, and she's talking about falling on the ground in last year's tour and losing time, which ended up being enough to lose the tour. This is why this is a loser day for me, because I really like Demi Vollering, and she took this situation that is not applicable to her. This is a different situation, and she made it about her, and she sounds really, really childish doing this. And this isn't like her. She's pretty reserved usually. I would say she is more on the emotional side. She cries after a lot of races. She's even cried before races. And this is not a good look for her. This shows that she's a bit out of control. She's very emotional. And what she's talking about doesn't apply. And it doesn't apply because, say, when Pogačar crashed, he didn't lay on the ground for close to 40 seconds stretching out like she did. So that's a little different. The pee break thing. Demi Vollering and her team took a pee break in the last hour of a race when the race was on. I cannot blame you, or I cannot give you sympathy when you do something like that. By the way, you had a teammate in that break who didn't fall back for you either, Demi. Blame the team on that one, though. Her team deserves some blame on that, too. So this is a loser of the week for me, for sure, because I don't know what's going on here. I don't like it one bit that there's a little boo-hoo, woe is me when it comes to this. So loser of the day is Demi Vollering's response to Pogačar's Instagram there. Now, however, I am getting pretty psyched up for the women's tour, which is starting at the end of this men's tour. Like, if this men's tour is boring, or you think it's boring, it's not boring, but if this men's tour is essentially in concrete of how this is going to end, so there isn't drama there, well, guess what? There's a whole women's tour about to start. It's going to take a whole week, and it's going to be full of action. And if you're Demi, she's got to get back on the mountain. She lost the tour last year, and she should have won it. So she needs to get the belt back. She needs to come in this tour with a lot of vengeance. Like, no more crying. Go cry later. This is a time for just kicking ass, Demi. And she can do it, too. She is by far the best climber. The question is, can she put it all together? And if she needs her team, can they respond adequately? Loser of the day, but I will change that loser of the day in a week's time if Demi Vollering gets together and wins the tour. Onward to the Media GC. Now, it was a rest day yesterday, so I'm not going to do my usual viewer count on my 3 common podcasts that I listen to. I'm going to do a different segment for the 3, and it's called Point of the Day. I listened to all 3, and I just picked out the one major point I liked in each 3 of them. I'm going to go through them, tell you why I liked them. So, starting with the move, the Bradley Wiggins, Lance Armstrong, George Hincapie move podcast. Best point of the day was Wiggins had this point. He thought Jonas had his best day on the bike today. And at first I think like, well, he couldn't drop Pogačar. He actually got gapped at the end of it. Why would you say this is his best day? But looking at it, he was on fire today. He was full on sprinting up this hill, and no one could have went with him other than Pogačar. So, and then he would reset, and he would go again. Jonas looked really good too, and the attack would come back. And it's not like Jonas shut off the power. He just kept the pace up, and it would go again. So just from a fitness standpoint, I have to agree with Wiggins. He did have his best day today. That was really, really good. And that last steep section that I thought always looked hard years ago, that they're sprinting up it, Jonas sprinted up it too, and really only got gapped by like 1 second up that final little stretch of then too. So I'm going to go with an agreement there. Wiggins, you're right. Jonas had his best day on the bike today. Lanterne Rouge. Listen to their show today. Lanterne Rouge's best point of the day today. And it was, if Jonas is going to risk his second place, like he said in his interview, what does that look like? And what does that look like? Is that getting in an early break? Is that attacking? Like on the first climb of the day? Is it like, let's isolate just us top 5 GCers in the first climb of the day. So it's going to be us for the next 80K together. What does that look like? Do we work? Do we not work? It's going to be interesting. If that's what happens, and that's another stage that is going to be watch every second of it. So what does I got to risk second in GC look like? And Jonas has a little breathing room to third place, certainly. And if you really were to dive into it, what does he even need third, or what does he even need the podium for? He's won this tour. He's finished second many times. Can you risk everything for that stage win? I don't know what it looks like, but if Visma really opens up the can of tactics and throws out what they've been trying to do, then that's going to be fun to watch. Because right now, it's like you're going to the middle of the ring with a prime Mike Tyson, and you go, what's your strategy? Like, well, we're going to trade punches in the middle of the ring. That's not going to work. Even if you get one punch in, no, you're going to get knocked down 99 times out of 100. So I thought that was a good point of determining what that will look like. Butterfly Effect from Chris Horner, his podcast, which I'm very excited to listen to today. He hasn't put it up yet. But his point of the day, he dove into the tactical choices from Quinn Simmons on the breakaway day that he mucked up. He made a lot of good points of what it actually means to sit on. If you want someone to work, why did you do this? It's a really deep dive, and it's kind of hard to understand these things, but it's especially hard to enact these things in real time. So I don't really blame Quinn Simmons for a lot of these mistakes because you're in such a fog of war during the race. You don't know what exactly is happening behind you. You don't know gaps. You don't know how other people are feeling. All you sort of know is that everybody should kind of just be doing the equal amount of work. And if you can get away with doing a little less, you try and get away with doing a little less. So, but I think when you review tapes like that and you see all these mistakes, you go, oh, that's why. That's why that was a mistake. And also, going along those lines, with breakaways, because we saw it again today, who gets in the breakaway, what everybody is in GC, and how that makes up the breakaway. Back in the group, we heard it that a couple teams were effectively blocking the road to get their breakaway up the road. So weird stuff goes on in the group too during these breakaways. It's really, really a frustrating thing, that first hour of the race for those teams that don't make the breakaway. And then we see how the race develops. This is why everybody gets so upset and so annoyed and so testy that third week of the race, where they're just like, this again? We get it. You're the good team. We're the small team. You get all the breaks. Okay, well, what if we want to get a break? Everybody's getting mad right now. So breakaway tactics, breakaway formations, breakaway tendencies are getting very, very tricky right now. And we're going to see more of it. There's definitely going to be a breakaway tomorrow. Then it becomes who is in charge of controlling this breakaway, because tomorrow's a sprint stage. So you got Trek, which should manage the sprint. You have Sudal. Well, Tim Miller is not out of this green jersey race. I think he's down like 110 points, and I think there's like 70 points on the line tomorrow. So in some world where he gets the intermediate sprint and he gets the win, he's right in this green jersey race, given Milan gets shut out of those points. So sprints are getting something well worthy you have to watch now. All right, so that was every podcast's best point from their previous show. So that brings us to stage 17. Tomorrow, what do we got? We got 160 kilometers. It's labeled as flat. We've got an intermediate sprint at 47 kilometers, followed by 2 Cat 4s, and then a downhill flat run in to the finish. So I can't imagine our main sprinters are going to get lost on the Cat 4s. You never know these days. So I think we're going to have a very traditional big group run into the line. So now our heavy hitters become Tim Miller, Jonathan Milan, even Lenten Rouge mentioned Groenewegen today. I forgot he was in the race. Biniam Gourmet needs to make a little surprise appearance here. He needs to get in the sprint. We've seen the Lotto guy mix it up in sprints. We've seen a few Uno X's mix it up in sprints. So best case scenario, we have just a great sprint finish tomorrow. Worst case scenario, we get a crash inside the 3 kilometers or just outside, messing everything up. So tomorrow I am cautious on this day that everybody gets through that finish line. All the GCers get through that finish line without incident. You cannot take an eye off if you're a rider right now. You have to be careful. You have to be safe. You have to use your team to stay safe as well. So I definitely am tuning in for the intermediate sprint. I've never watched a tour where I'm constantly looking for the graphic of how far to the intermediate sprint. I never used to watch those. And now it's like, I got to see this. I got to see who's lining up. Really interesting day tomorrow, which maybe can just be a pure fun day. No GC, just sprints we can pay attention to. So that was stage 16. Tomorrow, another day, and we're ramping it up, leading up to the final of the tour, which is on Sunday and the start of the women's race. So looking forward to it. It's been a great tour so far. I can't wait to see how it all wraps up. And also, just quick side note on Jonas's, I'm going to risk second place. He's only 4 minutes back to Pogačar. Pogačar cracks. It's 4 minutes would not be that hard to make up, or not that hard to lose too, if you really crack hard like Pogačar. So if you want to ride conservatively and just follow Pogačar's wheel, you can do that. If you want to risk second, options are open for Visma. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So if you made it this far, thank you everybody for listening and watching. Subscribe to my channel. All my videos are up there. Stand-up comedy interview series, this very tour series as well, and I'm going to be putting more up there. So for me, Patrick Ramirez, for the Running It Back Network, for the Tour de France, for friends in general in the Ventoux, thank you everybody. Stage 17 tomorrow. See you there.